What are the key points of current human migration patterns? Human migration has been a significant phenomenon throughout history. People have moved from one place to another for various reasons, including economic, social, political, and environmental factors. The current migration patterns are characterized by an increasing number of people moving from developing to developed countries. This speech aims to discuss the key points of current human migration patterns, with a particular focus on the impact on society and the global economy. Impact on society. Cultural diversity. Migration leads to cultural diversity, which can be both positive and negative. It brings in new cultures, languages, and traditions, enriching society's cultural tapestry. However, it can also lead to cultural clashes and tensions between different groups. Governments and societies need to promote cultural awareness and diversity to ensure that different cultures can coexist peacefully. Social cohesion. Migration can disrupt social cohesion, especially if the host country does not have a well-designed integration policy. Social cohesion can be achieved by creating opportunities for migrants to participate in civic and social activities, including language classes, employment, and community events. Host countries must also address social inequalities to promote social cohesion. Public services. Migration can put pressure on public services such as healthcare, education, and housing. The government should ensure that the provision of public services is adequate to meet the needs of the migrant population. This requires adequate planning and resources to ensure that public services are accessible and of high quality. Labor market. Migration can impact the labor market, both positively and negatively. It can fill labor shortages, improve the skill level of the workforce, and contribute to economic growth. However, it can also lead to competition for jobs and wage depression for low-skilled workers. Governments must manage migration policies to ensure that the labor market remains balanced. Political landscape. Migration can impact the political landscape, with some countries experiencing a rise in nationalism and anti-immigrant sentiment. It is essential to create policies that promote integration and address the concerns of the host population while respecting the rights of migrants. Impact on the global economy. Remittances. Remittances are the money that migrants send back to their home countries. They are usually used by families and friends to cover daily expenses or invest in businesses. Remittances are a significant source of income for many developing countries, and they can contribute to economic growth and reduce poverty. However, remittances are often volatile and can be affected by economic conditions in the host countries, such as recession or job loss. Migration can lead to an increase in remittances, which are essential sources of income for many developing countries. Remittances can also stimulate economic growth and reduce poverty in the countries of origin. Governments must create policies that encourage the flow of remittances and promote financial inclusion. Labor force. The labor force refers to the number of people who are available and willing to work. Migration can impact the labor force by increasing or decreasing the number of available workers. Migrants often fill labor shortages and contribute to economic growth, but they can also compete with native workers for jobs, leading to wage depression and job displacement. Additionally, the loss of highly skilled workers due to brain drain can negatively impact the labor force and economic development in their home countries. Migration can contribute to the growth of the labor force in host countries, leading to increased productivity and economic growth. However, it can also lead to brain drain, where highly skilled workers leave their countries of origin, leading to a loss of human capital. Governments should ensure that their policies do not lead to a disproportionate loss of human capital. Consumer demand. Consumer demand refers to the willingness and ability of people to purchase goods and services. Migration can impact consumer demand by contributing to population growth and stimulating economic activity in certain sectors, such as housing and food services. However, it can also lead to overcrowding, competition for resources, and environmental degradation. Migration can impact consumer demand, with migrants contributing to the growth of certain sectors such as housing and food services. However, it can also lead to overcrowding and competition for resources, particularly in densely populated urban areas. Social welfare systems. Social welfare systems refer to government programs that provide support and assistance to individuals and families in need. Migration can impact social welfare systems by increasing or decreasing the demand for social services such as healthcare, education, and housing. Additionally, migrants may be eligible for social welfare programs, which can place a burden on the system, leading to public debates about resource allocation. Migration can impact social welfare systems, particularly in developed countries. Governments need to ensure that their policies do not lead to a disproportionate burden on social welfare systems. They should also create policies that promote the integration of migrants into the labor market and reduce their dependence on social welfare. In summary, remittances, labor force, consumer demand, and social welfare systems are all factors that can be impacted by migration, and they have different characteristics and impacts on the economy and society. Governments and policymakers need to take a holistic approach to manage these factors and ensure that migration remains a positive force for economic and social development. Conclusion. In conclusion, current human migration patterns have significant impacts on society and the global economy. Governments must create policies that promote cultural diversity, social cohesion, and access to public services while managing the labor market and addressing the concerns of the host population. They must also create policies that encourage the flow of remittances, promote financial inclusion, and reduce the loss of human capital. By doing so, governments can ensure that migration remains a positive force for economic and social development.